to our latest hangout here at the RIC. I'm glad so many people joined today. Before we start with the hangout, which is with the topic ladyboys and gender issues in Thailand, we always introduce ourselves very briefly. Let's start over there and just take the round.
My name is Ashita Arvind and I'm from Nepal. My major is International Relations and Development.
One moment, I switch off the AC so everybody can hear you later on. Experience. Okay, please.
My name is Kiki Khan. I'm from Burma. My major is PV. My name is Nasumajo. I'm from Burma. My major is International Relations and Development.
My name is Jonathan. I'm from Germany and I'm also studying IRD.
And then our guest this time.
I'm Dr. Vishya Ninosha from International College and I have PhD in Gender and Development Studies and my PhD focuses on sexual minority and rights.
So we have a professional here today with us. That's awesome.
Yes.
That's why we talk about that today. And yeah, so let's start talking about gender and all the things that matter. It's nice that nobody is from Thailand now. We're still waiting for the Thai participants. So for you, for everyone here, that's a new topic or it was new when you came here, right?
No, it's not.
Okay, why not? And what's your experience with it before you came here?
Because in my country also we have lots of lady boys, and actually I have spoken with them. I have a good relationship with them, and actually they're very good. They're very friendly, and in our country, we believe that lady boys are part of we consider them as lucky, because many people, they think in a superstitious way. They think that when a new child is born, they invite the lady boys to give the blessings to them, because they think it's lucky. And in the marriage ceremony also, they invite the lady boys and they dance and then they perform and then we give them money because they'll give us the blessings. So we consider them as a lucky charm or something like that. So it's not a new thing to our country.
That's interesting, and I can't wait to hear what the European corner has to say to that. But first we go. So what about your first context with ladyboys? You have connects in ladyboys in Myanmar.
In our country, we are against ladyboy.
Yeah.
Because it's related to our religion.
Okay. So what's your impression now here in Thailand?
If you feel like you are become a ladyboy, as our religion believe, you commit a sin like that.
Okay. That's interesting. But now that you are here, how do you feel about that? I mean, in Thailand, it's not a sin.
Yes. It's not strange for me. I don't feel anything about it.
But they are also ladyboy in Thailand. I feel like they are very talented. I have seen ladyboy show, ladyboy shop, ladyboy hairdresser, barber, and ladies. Really, they are different. Ladyboy has more talented. I feel like. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. I accept that.
Alright, interesting. First impression.
Me coming to Thailand obviously was something completely new. Although there is a transvestite scene in Germany, it's a real minority, and it only is basically expressing itself in the red light districts of certain major cities and so on. And I think much more than here, transgenders live a double life. They dress normally, or dress according to their born gender all through the week, and on weekends or at certain times they express their other gender.
Yes, I agree on that, of course, because we're in the same country. Now we can have a professional opinion, and the first question that I actually wrote down was why do people become ladyboys?
In fact, there are two assumptions. In gender study, we believe that gender diversification is something by nature. When you grow plants, it would be 10% or 1% that would grow up something that different than the original. And the second assumption it can be socially constructed. Like some people believe that the behaviors of the people could be adjusted or changed depending on the way that they grow up. Yeah? But not all the time. So it could be for both socially constructed and gender diversification by the nation. And of course, Thailand probably boasts one of the highest incidents of transgender worldwide. And no one knows for sure that how many transgender there are. But the figure range from 10,000 to 300,000. But even the lowest of this figure would put the incidence way above Western countries.
Why is there so many in Thailand?
Because I think because of the society and the culture, and people say that the issues of sexual minority in Thailand is kind of tolerant. Like Thai society is very tolerant society. Like in the West, you can talk about it, but don't do it. But in Thailand, you can do it, but just don't talk about it. And as you mentioned, that sometimes it's related to the religion belief. Like in Buddhism, we believe about this life, next life, and previous life. And some people believe that the people who born as transgender, maybe they did something bad in their past. You know, like have many lovers, and so that's why they born as transgender. And so we have to sympathize them rather than beat them or rather
They
than.
did something bad in their past life. Why do you sympathize with them? I would say,
Some people
suck it.
some people believe in that way, and you know the transgender in Thailand they do a lot of things for the religion, like donate many things for the temple because because of karma, that I did in my past life. That's why I born in this way, something like that.
Okay.
And usually people quite sympathize on them rather than feel like.
So the transgenders themselves, they see this as a burden, see it as something, you know, they receive for through karma, or are they comfortable with expressing it? So.
Comfortable to be trust.
Yeah. Because you just mentioned that that they basically think, or some of them think it is through karma, kind of a punishment then.
Yeah.
So they see it as a burden or as something they appreciate within themselves.
Not appreciate, but like accept it and try to gain more money to have the better rebirth in the next life. That's why many temples built by transgender, especially in Eastern region.
It's interesting because I mean I lived in the northeastern region and there are definitely way more transgenders than here, I think.
They do a lot of meditations, for the better rebirth.
Before we go deeper into that, I still have this thing in your mind what you mentioned in the beginning, like they give blessing and things like that.
Yeah.
I don't understand how that works.
So where you come from exactly?
I'm from Nepal.
Oh yeah, I have heard that in Nepal people can like male, female, and you also have something mutual that you can.
We have like many organizations and offices. Like the one of the most famous is called Blue Diamond, and it's like the most like house for the transgenders. Like they are like tomboys, ladyboys, everything, and that's the main office. And they provide work and everything for them.
Oh.
They provide work, and then like I have a different house like given for rent, and there are some like rooms which the ladyboys stay in there. But in Nepal, like some people they have like some like barriers. Like okay, we don't have to talk to them; they're not good. But some people they consider them as lucky, or like for me, yeah.
Well, what do you think about it? Because I mean, you said in your country it's totally different. So what do you think when you hear that?
Like, I'm not really like, for me I accept it, but for my parents they will not accept it. Like, for me it's not really strange.
For you it's not really strange.
Yes.
So we have more people joining, then grab a chair and just over there so you get a picture.
Picture.
No problem, just grab a chair and join me. It's such an interesting topic for everybody. That's nice, yeah, take a chair somewhere over there so you get a picture. Yeah, perfect.
I don't know.
That's great. Students leaving their class just to join this topic. I appreciate it very much. Yeah, Actually, it's not my class.
I want to be a teacher.
All right. So we already talked about, so for you now, we already talked about like our first experience with ladyboys and how we experienced it and our first thoughts. But and we heard about Nepal that it's like highly accepted.
Yeah, in Nepal it's not highly, but most of the people they accept. Like mostly in India it's accepted. Like India and Nepal is like they are like neighbors, so like they go together.
Okay. So then before we continue with our professional opinion here, briefly, because you're the new guys now in here, what are your first thoughts about ladyboys? I mean, you're from Thailand, so...
I don't know, for me, I like ladyboys. I think they are funny. Most of them they are funny, and when I'm with them, like I feel I'm happy. And I have my best friend is ladyboys, and like I like them. I don't know. For me, I accept them. But like I come from the southern part of Thailand, and it's like small city, and not so many people accept this kind of things. But in Bangkok, like I saw the couple, they can work together, like hold a hand or whatever. But in my city, you cannot do like that because it's small city.
Go to the sound. What's the first impression? Or what are your thoughts about it? Because you're used to it.
I think they're so creative. I don't know. It's like mixing between male brain and female brain. I don't know. It's not like that, but they're so creative.
Okay. When you came here and you saw the first time you saw ladyboys here.
I've seen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the first impression was good. Good sense of humor, and they not get insulted if I say something rude accidentally. But
so it's totally fine for you.
yeah, no problem.
No problem.
Yeah.
So we're all fine somehow. That's nice. Interesting. But everybody mentions like the ladyboys. They are cool, or they are creative, or they are funny. Is it because they're ladyboys, or just because they are anyway a cool person? You know what I mean? Are they just funny because they're a ladyboy, or
They are used to it, maybe because some people maybe say not good things, say they answer with the humor.
I think they have more social network. I mean, like they can like, if you are a man, you will have all different with a man. But they are ladyboys, so they are interested in men. So they will be flirted with men, but also they can be like friends with a girl. So they have more social network, and then they are good at social, so they can be funny and opposite.
so how many ladyboy friends do you have?
Actually, since my girlfriend is Thai, she has a couple of ladyboy and tomboy friends, which I can also know. And me myself, I've talked to some briefly, but I wouldn't say that I have a real friendship.
No, I agree. But just asking questions that they have like this different networks. But maybe now again back to Arch and Storm. Like why do ladyboys have such a cool standing? Like they're creative, they're cool, they're funny, and everybody knows them and likes them. Why?
To me, the transgender people are someone unique, and they have something that's special than other people. Yeah. But from my research, I found that they try to prove they have the pressure to prove to be accepted in the society, and they also have the pleasure to prove that they are women. You will see that the lady boys sometimes they are even more beautiful than women. They get dressed.
Then me also.
Much more than women, and sometimes the manner is even more feminine, or sometimes we could even say that more exaggerated than women. Yeah, and there is one toilet in the Chiang Mai, in the Lana Polytechnic, and they divided into male toilet, female toilet, and female too. So female too is the is the toilet for the transgender, and they found that the toilet for the transgender is much more clean than female toilet, and even the mirror, the decoration is bigger and all decorated by the mirror, because they found that the transgender really pay attention to the appearance, and this thing is quite special and unique more than women, I think, because they want to be accepted. in the society, and they have to prove something that they're better.
Yeah, you just mentioned like sometimes they exaggerate a bit, like overacting.
Yeah,
That's one of the things that bothers me sometimes, and I'm honest.
Yeah, like they do like this sometimes. In fact, women are more reasonable than what we don't do it.
And what is like my personal experience when I walk around, I get hit on by ladyboys all the freaking time. And like it seems like they are way more confident about themselves than other people.
Yeah.
But probably the same reason you just mentioned, they have to be and they have to prove themselves that hey, I can do that.
And the way to approach men may be more exaggerated, more aggressive than real female.
Right. Then I'd like to pick on one point that I think you mentioned earlier. You said you've seen a ladyboy show. Why are the ladyboy shows? I don't understand the point, because in fact it's just people dancing. So what's the cool part about ladyboy? First let's see if you have some experience. Did you see a ladyboy show? Do you understand why?
Yeah, it's like cabaret show.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's like maybe they are more confident that's
Then again the same topic. Have you seen that?
Maybe like the foreigners are like, they need to attract the foreigners maybe, because like it's something new for the foreigners, right? Because it's lady boys, like the main topic is like lady boys dancing, so maybe it attracts the foreigners more.
Well, why did you go to the show?
Why?
Why did you go to the ladyboy show?
I don't know, like when I heard each show, if they stage show, I will not be really that interested. But lady boy shows, that will be something. So, but when I see, it makes me also like interest and like.
Really?
I've never seen it. Like they are really like, they make up themselves like a lady, but interesting something.
Okay.
And it's always funny.
It's always funny.
It's always funny.
Maybe I'm too German, but for me it's like always like boys in dresses. I don't need to see that. it's just my opinion. But
I would say it is. I mean, the tourism industry makes a lot of money with it.
that's true.
And I would say it also is like a niche for transgenders to earn a living as entertainers. I'm not sure how many other options they have, so I guess some of them probably don't have any other choice, and it's a big business.
And in fact, if we look at the history, we have Nakhon Nok and Nakhon Nai in Thai history, that they divided this for male and this for female. And in the past, there was transgender already. We have transgender has been exist since the past, but during that time, the medical technology did not invented yet. So they only dress up female costume for the performance. But right after the performance, they took it off. But right now, the medical technology is available and encourage them to look feminine. And they can do a lot of the surgeries, and then they can live in everyday life. And identities of transgenders always linked with the entertainment, because it's something that people can think about it. And if we consider another mainstream employments like government officer, the university lecturer, is quite nearly impossible for them, because identity can't still class them as Mr. Because in identity, when you change, you have the gender reassignment, but you still have to maintain your title, so it's difficult for them to get the employment. And many try already, but they have to get fired after found out the truth. And so they have to go to the mainstream for the transgender. It's a big market for them. And college show in Pattaya like Akasa or Tiffany considered as a professional school to train transgender to be professional and not just only attract for Thai transgender. Even from another country like Laos, Burma, they also want to come to learn how to make the shows to be the professional transsexual. It's kind of the school for the transgender, the way that they can share their identities and share the feelings. But right now we have many transgender that go for another career, like for the flight attendants. RIC is the first Thai transsexuals that in the beginning the airline advertised for female, but she dared to submit the application, and then the airline said, okay, if you dare to submit, yeah, we accept, and then they made the advertisement that from now on, this airline will come transgender to be flight attendants because it's perfect for transgender because they're strong and they can help the transgender the market, and also the sexual harassment also decrease because usually for the Thai and Australian they have chance to get sexual harassment from the but for transgender people feel no. So it's the opportunity for transgender.
Okay, now there are so many more questions that came up when we talked about all the things like, but the first thing that I want to ask, how about marriage?
Marriage?
Yeah, can they marry?
No.
Legally? No.
Right now, no. Same-sex marriage.
So are we talking about being totally accepted?
No.
No.
Not the government, but
But by culture,
yeah, they can.
By culture, they can marry.
But it's not legally accepted.
Yeah, not legally accepted.
But in Germany, men can marry.
Yeah. Yes. True. That's why I said that in Thailand you can do it, but don't talk about it. Don't say it.
Then, yeah, because you talked about options, employment options and things. Like you said, yeah, the career as like entertainment, right, or flight attendant now. Are there any lady boys or transgenders like in important positions in Thailand somewhere?
Local politician, Yolanda, she, for Lampang, I think.
Okay, so it's in politics actually.
And she also is the head of the transsexuals group, and she launched a policy about she wants to give the free budget for the transgender who want to have sex change operation because sex change operations cost a lot of money.
oh my god.
Yeah.
Yes, please say something. Oh my God. Yes. Why do you say oh my God?
Because
I was thinking the same thing.
there will be a lot of like transition people like there will be, I feel like in the future Thailand will be like you will see the lady one.
Yeah.
You think that's a good idea?
I don't know. That is too much, I think. Too much.
I would say that Thailand, that's my impression, has to be a little bit careful that they don't create too much of a trend.
Yeah.
Like if I watch young people around here, people that are still in the phase of figuring out what their sexuality is and so on, I see so many. I visit my girlfriend studies at Lachamankon University of Technology. And there are so many tomboys, so many ladyboys, and really young. And I feel many of them probably are not really sure or just confused about it. And then added to that, this kind of trend like express yourself individually and so on as a young person against mainstream maybe and so on. You want to be a little bit different, and I believe it can have unhealthy impacts on social development, etc. So I would say tolerance, absolutely. Let people express themselves in whatever way they want, but don't create like a media trend or anything like it.
Yeah.
As much as you don't create a media trend like you were born as a female, so you have to stay a female. You don't propagate it, so don't propagate the transgender.
I would just like to add something in the same direction, and I want to hear you again. But before I came here, I was teaching at a college at Achila, like 16 to 18 year old students, and I see so many of them becoming ladyboys, and it felt like if the teenager doesn't know, like I'm not sure where to go, I feel too lonely, I don't have too many friends. Or ladyboys are special, and then they like tend to go into this direction. Just my feelings. So I totally agree on that, like the trendy thing. What's your impression on that?
I also think as a trend, also this is like ladyboys. Sometimes they come up like ladyboys. They fit inside, I don't know. But sometimes tomboy, it's just a trend for me. I think
So
because I know one of my friends.
Mm.
I know one of my friends. She said, "Today I want to be a tomboy," and I don't know. It's
she thinks it's a cool thing, so I don't know.
Alright. Yeah, how about like in your circle of friends? Like, how did you have?
I think it's like maybe my friends. He is a lady boy. I think it's because of like when he was young, his dad was died, and like he lived only with her mom, and then maybe like the way his mom treat him, maybe like and make him feel like I'm a girl like that. And after he grew, but he told me that he fell in love with his aunt since he was 7 years old, something like this, and he know that okay he doesn't like the girls. He's a lady boy. He know himself since he was young. I think sometimes it's because of family. And one of my neighbor in my province, and like his parents, they are divorced, yeah, and he saw, and like she has one little brother, and her little brother is a lady boy and she is a tomboy because of the family, because of I don't know, maybe she saw that, the tomboy, she saw her the way her dad treat her mom, like maybe I don't know, but maybe I think it's sometimes it's because of the family, the way they treat them.
How they have
Since
grown up.
sometimes it's the trait, or maybe like you stay a lot of time with your lady boy's friend, and maybe you wanna change, wanna be something. I don't know. Maybe.
Alright. Professional opinion?
Yeah, like I mentioned that sexual minority could be something that diversification by nature, and it could be some another factor like socially constructed. And Thailand, and of course, the entertainment industry, the sexual surgery make this more globalization, and people want to be like them because some people are famous, like boy, Miss Tiffany. Yeah, and she won for the world competition for transsexuals, world competition, and many want to be like them. From my experience, that I did the research and I interviewed transgender people, I found that these people, they are kind of person who have instability of sexual preference. If you ask a question why you want to be a woman, some people might say because I want to have female bodies. I feel comfortable with female bodies, so that means I'm a woman. If you ask the same question with another, they might say because I like a man. If I like a man, it does mean I'm a woman. Yeah, sometimes it's not clear that why. And even some transgender who already have completed female bodies, they still say that, well, I just realized that it could not make me to be a complete woman, because women have some quality like reproductive power, can give birth, but as a lady boy, even they have the complete female body, they still can't have that quality. So it's not really maybe soon. Maybe next 10 years. And even some people, they decided to take the hormone already, like for men, decided to take hormone because before you go for sex reassignment surgery, you have to take hormone for 2 or 3 years, and your body start to change. And then some people already took the hormone and prepare for the sex reassignment surgery, and then just stop it, and then married a woman. But in fact, the body is not really the same, cannot get back to be like real man. Or even some people took hormone for 2 years, 3 years. And even some transgender, you could see on the news, I think she is Miss Tiffany or Miss Akasa, that she did not have she applied the basic implants. Yeah, but not vaginoplasty yet. And she won the competition. Yeah, and then she decided to take the breast out and become you see, and this thing is happened like fluidity of sexuality of these people, because like this all the time. Yeah, and even right now, in the beginning when I talk to them, they say, now I'm collecting the money, I want to have the breast birth, and then I will do vaginoplasty. But after they have some percent of money, they do the breast implants. And then they feel comfortable with breast implants, and then just stay like that. to be the new gender. Yeah, like the sexualities of people is something that's complex. Yeah, it can be fluid.
It's the first time I really say it, and I mean it's amazing.
You know there is one specific bar that offer the job only for transgender who apply breast implants but no vaginoplasty. And if you decided to do vaginoplasty, you get fined, you have to find another bar. So it could be one factor that they have to think about.
They want to check.
Yeah, and they have another vocabulary to call this transgender like Saucia, something like that. Like Saucia means a woman who can perform the role as men. Yeah, it's something quite unique.
Say something, I have to process that.
Like I've heard the news that in the Miss World there was a participant from, I don't know, it's from France or Spain, but she was actually a boy, lady boy, but nobody knew that she was a lady boy.
In Miss World?
Yeah, in Miss World.
From Canada.
Oh, from Canada, I think.
Yeah, in the beginning that after people found out that she's
but she was disqualified.
Yeah, she was. But
later, no, she didn't win because later they found that she was a lady boy, so she was like disqualified from the competition.
But after the pressures of the people, Donald Trump allowed her to get back to the competition, but she did not win. But it made some change that from now on, even for Miss Universe, they allow transgender to participate.
Now they allow.
So right now, it's gonna be difficult for men. Yeah, to distinguish that is male or female. And usually I tell my foreign friends that if you see a woman in Thailand, if she is beautiful, yes, she is woman. But if extra beautiful,
It's so sad. Alright. So many things to process here now. It's incredible. We keep talking about like ladyboys, but then further, before you mentioned like also tomboys. Tomboys are, just for short explanation for the people who don't know, what does tomboy mean?
Tomboy is like a girl who wants to be a man.
Alright. Are there also like, is there also like such a big community, or is it only like ladyboys? Yay, tomboys!
in fact they are not the same. They have the different group. But for Lady Guy Association, they group for LGBT. Yeah. But for another organization like Empower for Women, to be really for male, they also have more specific type of category. But for Lady Sky Association, they try to group all sexual minority, and when they make a move, they want to move together. But when they are going to raise up some policy, of course, some policy might be this group. Sometimes they are not really unity. They still have a lot of differences. Even from transgender, like Nopyolada, she tried to create the word to call transgender. She said that call us ผู้หญิงข้ามเพศ but what?
All the foreigners are like, what? ผู้หญิง
ข้ามเพศ Thai people like ข้ามไปไหน I understand is some transgender want to be called as the original word like กระเทย and some people women of a second kind. Yeah. So some say, oh, call me ผู้หญิงข้ามเพศ There's many identities not the same. Even among
Gay also have king and queen.
the special Thailand. But I think in the West they don't classify the king or queen.
What are your thoughts, as someone from the West? What are your thoughts now with all these ladyboys, tomboys, and how is it in Finland?
In Finland, I think there's like none of them, because if they are afraid of bringing it into public.
Right.
And Finnish people, I think, is a little bit aggressive, and if they say that, they get.
Alright. Interesting. So there's no big scene, not like in Thailand, right? It's more like if you do it and don't find like smaller in Germany.
You have to be quiet.
Just do it in your home, but don't show anyone.
Don't show anyone. Do it on your own.
No, yeah, that's all.
I went to the resort in Manchester and they have the rules that on Wednesday night the guy can cross-dress to be transvestite. Just put the clothes off and on. Yeah, but don't do this in another day because they will get beaten. Only Wednesday night because they know that.
Wednesday is cross-dressing night.
Yeah, because they know that some people they need to express. Like when I met my friends during the daytime at University of Leeds, he dressed up as a man. But he knows that I'm conducting his research, and so he volunteered to help me. Yeah, we will go to Manchester, and then when I see him during the Wednesday night, so dress up as a woman. Wednesday night on Manchester is fine. It's a rule.
That's interesting. Okay. Now that really like always said like yeah, that's cool, it's nice, it's fun. Let's talk. Well, I talk about something that I dislike, and then you say that I'm totally wrong, or you say you explain why. Like I mentioned before, sometimes very often when I have labels in class, for example, in my former college or something, they overact so much, they exaggerate so much, like act like as there is something very special. And I don't like that. I mean, if you do this, if you are labeled, that's fine for me, but don't act as if you're something special, like, hey, here I am, I'm the label. I don't like that. What's your experience with that? You cool with that? You say, yeah, that's fine, because they are special? Or?
Yes, I think they are special.
So, then they can act special if they are special?
Yeah.
Okay. You're always smiling, now it's time to say something.
It's annoying to me. Like when they act like this, I don't like it. Just be normal. Even if they are, I know that they are the one. Be act normal. Don't act over acting. Like, I miss this. I don't like it.
Thank you very much. Finally, yes, I totally agree on that. What's your opinions here?
Me?
Yes? You can be honest, it's just on camera, no problem.
Okay. Yes, I don't like it as well. Yeah, as my friend said, they say, why you want to? We already know, everybody know that you are lady boy. Just be normal. Yeah. I can't say anything like this.
Yeah, okay.
Me personally, I also sometimes feel uncomfortable in such situations, but on the other hand, I think it is important to give people the right to express themselves the way they are, even if it is sometimes in an extreme way. So I learn like to deal with it better and better. I have to say, since I'm here, I've become so much more comfortable with sexual minorities. Not that I ever had like this view of intolerance towards them or anything, but dealing directly with them sometimes can still give you a sense of discomfort. I believe so, because of the fact that you may not be sexually attracted to the other person, but the other person is sexually attracted to you, which then creates like a strange situation sometimes. However, and that is what I would say benefit of my experience here in Thailand, I feel much more relaxed and at ease with it, and that's something I can also take back to Europe and so on. In Europe, I have to say that especially the gay outcomings are increasing a lot, also all over the place. Several friends that I spent time with for years, I never expected or suspected anything, now came out and they are really comfortable with it. I think that's a good thing, definitely. Yeah. Like, I personally sometimes struggle with this assertive behavior of transgenders and also gays towards the Falang here, especially.
Outside of university, right there, for example.
However, I think it is their right to express themselves the way they, even if it is overacting. I mean, I don't have to be the best friend to still, be okay with the fact that they are the way they are. Yeah.
Why do they overact that much? And
Like I mentioned that they have the pleasure
yes, of course, the pressure.
to prove. Yeah. Yeah, to prove that they are someone special, they want to be accepted. And I agree that sometimes they go so far, sometimes they forget that in some culture, even some vocabulary, yeah, like they will call female. If you are not beautiful, they call you shani. It's shani. Yeah, if you are beautiful, they call you or something like that. They will have their own subcultures, they have their own vocabulary, and even sometimes people in mainstream adopted their vocabulary. That's why they feel sometimes superior and they really want to find some space in the society. But for me, I feel I just understand that they have to prove they have more pleasure than heterosexual people.
Yeah. Next time one of them hits on me, I think about pressure. I have 2 more things written down. The one is similar to what I asked in the beginning, but do you remember for the foreigners, do you remember the first time you saw a transgender here? Because I can remember my very first time. It was I arrived in Uruntani, I think. I went to Place Lotus and there was a lady who was standing at the counter, like, and serving, and I was like,
So you can notice from the appearance or the manner.
that was obvious from the appearance.
Or from the appearance. But many transgender that you call
Of course.
not even distinguished
Of course.
until they talk.
Actually, I had also my experience in Uruntani, cheerleaders, and the head of cheerleaders was very attractive, looked very nice, but when she started to speak, she spoke like that.
Because vocal cord surgery is still very risky and it's not, it's very sensitive. So someone do not really want to do it. But they also can try to make female like
So when was your first time that you saw her?
Mine was in Wahin.
Uh-huh.
Like here, in Nepal I've seen, but here was in Wahin. I went to it was like a bar, a club, and there was like a bunch of girls. Like they came from inside and they performed a dance, and everyone thought they were girls. But then, like me and my friend, we went to the restroom, and then we came out, and then there was one girl who was coming, the performer, one of the performers. I was like, she smiled to me, and I was like, okay. And then we talked. Oh my gosh, she's so beautiful. And then she was like, hi. I was like, what? And then I thought, okay, she's a boy.
Okay.
So that was
My first, I met in Myanmar. At Myanmar, like my parents' friend. She is a lady boy.
Okay.
She worked in beauty parlor.
Yeah.
Beauty salon.
Yeah.
Like she is beautiful. Like even I don't know that when my parents showed me this way is a girl. Why you look at this the girl? It's not a girl. My parents said it's boy. It surprised me.
Alright, yeah. So that's what you just mentioned. They look, you don't see it for a second sight.
Some people even they stay together as boyfriend and girlfriend. Sometimes the boyfriend they don't notice that it's a transgender.
Okay. I also like, I may not know, as soon as I see them, I may not know like they are what.
But when like the first contact?
In 2007 in Thailand, in Burma, in my village, I have never seen that.
Yes, right.
Never seen that.
2007, February 2nd.
But also when I meet them, like they talk about their experience with men, because he is a Thai lady boy, and me, I'm totally like a refugee guy. Never see about the war, but he told me like how he sleep with a man. Oh my god, I was so shy. So shy.
That's nice to get fucked about that.
Me, 2010, me and my brother we wanted to travel to Thailand, do like island hopping and so on. We arrived right in the midst of the political crisis here, and the airport was like half shut down and everything. And they said we have to leave Bangkok or we cannot go to central Bangkok at least. So we said take us somewhere. They took us somewhere, and that somewhere was Pattaya. So sorry for the first time.
Alright.
I'm not sure when was the first time, but maybe only 1-2 months ago was the first time I really talked with someone. I had a lady with me, so she didn't try to hit me or something. We just had a nice conversation and it was nice, no problem, and good jokes also.
Okay, again, fun, nice, okay. Alright, then I prepared like for the last 5 minutes. I said, what are your questions to our professional? What do you want to know? Ask anything. We have a PhD in gender studies. That's the other professional.
I have a question.
Yes,
It's
please.
about tomboys. Like, I talked to my father because he has already visited Thailand, and I said that a lot of tomboys in Thailand, and then he said maybe probably because they are like girls' majority is like high, the majority of the girls, and because of the majority of the girls in Thailand, that's why the tomboys are here. So is it true because like they have like more girls in the population?
From the population graphic, there is 1 million females more than male in Thailand. Yeah, so of course we have a lot of women more than men.
And I heard that like one man can marry 14
Women.
women. Yeah.
Food.
It's like 14 females can marry one man. It's like girls are more than.
So that means we don't have enough girls.
Yeah,
So
that's why tomboys are there.
Come to Thailand.
What that is linked to the tomboy identity, like you mentioned that sometimes it's about the society, sometimes it's about the, because tomboy identity is something that you can put on off. It's not really like permanent, like transsexual that you have to decide to do the operation. Right? There might be some tomboy for today, but maybe next 2 years maybe change to be girl.
But
Yeah.
some girls can do like surgery and look like
Yeah, but it's not really
much more handsome
90%.
than
It's
some
only
guys.
80% function. It's
Yes,
not
because
really
it's
satisfied
quite hard.
result compared to do the operation from male to female. It's still not really popular.
Yeah.
But I think that the identity is not difficult to be, right, for the tomboy, for girls. Yeah. And people say that to be a tomboy is easier to get close to women, more chance to get close to women than men. Yeah. It could be a fashion too. Yeah.
But there are already a lot, many number of scale. But also men trying to transfer to women again, so there will be like less number
Less number of what?
men. Like,
Yeah, because less number of men.
Yeah.
And there are many men become
Yeah,
gays.
yeah.
And there are many men are in the prison, prisoners. There are many men to be marked. So we don't really have
Because they are scared of the labor.
Yeah, I would please ask, you talked about the structural causes that causes for transgender or for becoming gay and so on can on one hand be genetic, but on the other hand can also be
socially
socially
constructed.
constructed. So my impression, or that is just an idea, cannot back that up by any scientific evidence, but I think one of the reasons may be that since coming from a traditional society and developing really fast, and the traditional society was dominated by a patriarch system of fathers, a strong family head, and so on. However, through the opening of the country and the opening of society, things change, and I feel that is just my personal impression from many friends I have and so on, is that fathers have severely struggled in Thailand to find their identity as a responsible father and so on. So is this traditional family system, especially in the rural areas, kind of breaking apart? And as a consequence of that, children may not have these father figures and mother figures in a traditional sense anymore, which then can lead to, let's call it confusion in their search for sexual identity.
In fact, I think transgender identity is the identity links with urbanization, of course, like Pattaya is really the place that make this identity more visible, yeah, because they have the competition, yeah, and of course many transgender they travel from the rural area to the city because this type of person they need to get the medical health check quite often. So usually they like to live in the city, maybe because they far away from the family too, and so they feel comfortable to do the thing. Around to their body. I asked one transgender that in the beginning when he traveled to Pattaya to get a job. And then when he come back to his hometown, rural area, and he already dressed up and also did some surgical operation. And then his father was shocked a bit because when he got there as a boy, and then when he came back as a girl identity. But so what your father complained, he said that no, he shut his mouth when they give him money. But he said he can work, he has a job, and he can earn a lot of money. So sometimes the parents could be accepted because maybe the lady boys can be famous.
I will survive.
Yeah, that's why I think that sometimes it's about the globalization that make up this identity. That's why there are a lot of transgender in Thailand because it's a market. They also can earn some money
From Farah.
Yeah.
Farah wants to try some new thing because I don't know if in other country they don't have a little more
exotic experience.
looks more beautiful than the girls. I don't know. What about in Germany?
No, in Germany.
Yeah, because I have talked with the one guy. He is gay, and he said he went to Germany for one year or 2 years, something like this. And I don't know what is he work in Germany, and then he came back and he got money like 3 million baht, something like that.
I don't know what your friend was working.
Something like. I don't know.
Yeah, of course. I mean, the red light
They are
districts and stuff are everywhere. I think, and actually, I read one of my favorite newspapers that the yellow press that Germany is like booming in this business, but still like not in the ladyboy area, like you're gay or lesbian or whatever. That's no problem. But I think we don't have too much ladyboy activity there, do we? Probably.
Except of, I would say, Cologne and
Yeah, like the transvestite.
But the sexual industry, or
Yeah.
the sex service industry is booming in Germany.
Definitely. Yeah, I think they are actually making more money than Thailand with the industry in Germany. But don't tell anyone. Do you have any more questions? Now you have the chance to ask anything.
One more question, I asked about the causes, but the consequences in terms of demography. I would say it is, at least it should be dealt with seriously in terms of that if you have this kind of development at such an extent, it may affect population growth sooner or later substantially, and I think Thailand is already struggling with low growth since GDP is always higher than population growth, and therefore there's a lack of labor and so on. So I think there's a possibility of severe imbalances, structural imbalances within the country, and which then also will have an economic impact sooner or later. So maybe, and that is my opinion, for that purpose, government should pursue a course of action that enhances family planning, stable family planning, and predictability of population growth, population control, and therefore maybe resort to supporting traditional family systems rather than something alternative.
During the HIV/AIDS expansion to Thailand, and there is an organization who works for these people, gender violence, they got a lot of money support from the international donor. And then females feel that they put themselves, they consider that, hey, we got a lot of money, more than us because the HIV/AIDS is claimed as gay sickness. So they can attract a lot of donors to support them for the many activities. Yeah? And one assumption I think, personally, I think that gender violent people exist everywhere in the world. but their personality or their identity is shaped by the social structure. Like Thailand may be tolerance, Thailand may be open. That's why this identity becomes visible. But as a researcher, I travel to another country, I travel to do research in England, I travel to Japan, I travel to another country. I found that in fact, every country will have these sexual minorities, but because of the culture that's not really open for them, so it's not like visible, but still existing, yeah, in every country. Like in Japan, they might only dress up when they have to communicate among each other or social or party, and then when they get back to normal society, they just go to
So could more countries be like Thailand?
I think each country have their own unique.
Yeah.
Like I have one friend from Congo, and then she said like these type of people, they are like sent to jail. They're not accepted in the society. They are in Congo. She said that they can suicide. It's like their option is like if they can suicide, or they go to jail, or they'll be like murdered.
Like in England, some people get beaten and die in the toilet because some people don't really like it. And during that time, I traveled in England, I was shocked. I come from developing country, and I can't believe that this happened in the country that they call themselves developed. They call themselves.
I think it's also a question of how a society chooses to organize itself, and therefore how it allocates and values, and if it allocates or if it pursues a conservative style of value setting among the people, then the people are also very reluctant to liberal change. On the other hand, it is also important for society to maintain stability, and if this project Thailand works out well and maintains itself, although being so liberal and open, then I think it could be a really good role model. However, I think it is very important to scientifically analyze it before development takes off, that then causes instability something.
That's, by the way, something that's for me fascinating in Thailand. Like as you said, it's very open, very liberal, right? But on the other hand, so much emphasis on culture. Like every time when I do something wrong here in Thailand, it's our culture. Like it's very, very focused on Thai culture, on own beliefs. On the other hand, it's then the ladyboy and gender stuff. It's so open. That's very interesting to see. Just saying.
Yeah.
Just a statement. Final question, anyone? Anything to say before we finish here? No? Then thank you very much for coming. Thank you, our special guests. Thank you for all of you for coming and joining today. I hope to see you again next week.